Have you ever caught yourself thinking, I used to do this all by myself, and now I'm not sure I even can anymore? Maybe it's reaching for something on the top shelf, getting up from a low chair, or keeping up with errands that used to be second nature. That feeling, that uncomfortable mix of frustration, sadness, and even a little embarrassment, it's more common than you might think. And here's the thing, it doesn't mean you've failed. It doesn't mean you've become weak, or that you're not capable. What it does mean is that your life has shifted, like it naturally does as we get older. But, and this part matters, it doesn't mean you have to just accept helplessness as the new normal. You might be surprised at how many simple, powerful changes can help you feel more in control of your life again. Not 10 years ago. Not in your prime. Right now. Today. And no, I'm not talking about climbing mountains or running marathons. I'm talking about feeling like you again, confident, capable, and independent. In this video, we're going to talk about 6 ways you can gently, steadily take back that feeling of independence. And we're not just throwing ideas at the wall, we're talking about things that have worked and continue to work for people who are navigating this exact stage of life. These are things that fit into your rhythm, that support you, and that remind you that you are far from done. Let's start with something so foundational, it often gets overlooked. Mobility. Not just the ability to walk from room to room, but how steady, balanced, and free you feel when you do. Because here's what can happen. We get a little less confident on our feet, so we move less. And the less we move, the weaker the muscles get. Before long, a short walk feels like a marathon. But imagine this. Imagine waking up, stretching your legs, and standing up with a little more ease. Imagine taking a stroll, not to prove anything, but simply because you can. It starts with small movements, gentle routines. Maybe it's seated leg lifts while you watch your favorite show, or holding onto the back of a sturdy chair and doing a few calf raises in the morning. The key is to move a little every day. Not because someone told you to, but because it gives you back your strength, your balance, and your independence. You'll find that even tiny actions, getting out of bed without feeling stiff, reaching for something without wobbling, those victories build your confidence like bricks in a strong foundation. Now, paired with mobility is something just as powerful, confidence in your surroundings. And that's where this next piece comes in, reclaiming control over your environment. Have you ever hesitated to go into the bathroom at night because it's too dark? Or skipped getting something from the kitchen because the floor felt too slippery in socks? These small hesitations add up. They start to make you feel like you have to work around your space, instead of feeling like it works for you. But here's the good news. You don't need a full home renovation to fix this. Just a few simple changes, like brighter lighting, non-slip rugs, easy-to-reach shelves, or grab bars in the bathroom, can make all the difference. And no, making these changes isn't giving in to age. It's claiming your space. It's saying, this is my home, and it needs to support my life. Because when your home feels safe, you feel safer. You walk with more confidence. You stop tiptoeing around your space, and start feeling like it's truly yours again. And that feeling? That's independence. Let's talk now about something a little less physical, but just as important, asking for help without giving up control. This one can be tough. I get it. We spend so many years being the ones people turn to, for rides, for advice, for help, and then suddenly, we're the ones who need a hand. It can feel like you're losing something, like your role is changing. But here's the truth. Needing help doesn't mean you're helpless. Let me say that again. Needing help doesn't mean you're helpless. Think of it this way. If a friend asked you to drive them to a doctor's appointment, would you think less of them? Of course not. You'd be glad to help. And guess what? That same kindness applies to you. Asking for help when you need it is smart. It's strong. And most importantly, it's temporary. You're not signing away your independence by leaning on someone. You're protecting it. Because when you get a little help with the hard stuff, groceries, rides, paperwork, you free up your energy and strength for the things you want to do. The fun things. The meaningful things. And you stay in the driver's seat of your own life. See, the real danger isn't asking for help. The real danger is letting fear or pride keep you stuck in place, where life starts to shrink around you. But when you ask wisely and use the support to strengthen your life, not shrink it, you stay in control. So if you've been feeling a little helpless lately, or like your independence is slipping through your fingers one small task at a time, take heart. These small shifts, moving a bit more, adjusting your space, asking when needed, are not signs that you're failing. They're signs that you're fighting to keep your life joyful and safe and truly yours. And that's something to be proud of. One of the most powerful things you can do for yourself after 70 isn't physical, and it isn't even something others can see. It happens quietly in the background, but its effects are massive. I'm talking about routine, that simple structure to your day that gently tells your mind and body, hey, we've got a purpose today. Because when life slows down, when there's no job to clock into, no kids to pack lunches for, it's easy for the day to blur into itself. Wake up whenever. Eat something maybe. Watch TV. And repeat. And sure, there's nothing wrong with resting, especially when you've earned it. But when every day feels like a blank slate, it can start to chip away at your sense of control. And that feeling, that what am I even doing, can sneak up on you. It shows up as fatigue, forgetfulness, low mood, or just that restless, heavy fog that follows you around. But building a simple, gentle routine can flip that feeling on its head. Start small. You don't need to plan every hour. Just create a rhythm. Maybe it's getting up and stretching with the sunrise, then enjoying a real breakfast at the table instead of the couch. Maybe it's setting aside a time every afternoon to read, go for a walk, or call someone you love. Your routine becomes your anchor. It reminds you that you are steering the ship, that the day is yours, not just something to pass through. And when you stick to it, even loosely, it builds confidence. And that confidence snowballs into more movement, better sleep, clearer thinking, and yes, more independence. Now, I know we often talk about the body, the home, and habits, but we don't always talk about the power of your mind. Especially after 70, your mind needs attention too. It needs challenge. It needs curiosity. And maybe more than anything, it needs kindness. See, independence isn't just about whether you can drive yourself to the store. It's also about whether you feel mentally sharp and emotionally strong enough to make decisions, solve problems, and keep your spirits up when things don't go quite right. And the good news? You can train your brain just like you train your legs. Start learning again. Pick up a new hobby. Try a puzzle, a game, a language app. Even something as simple as cooking a new recipe or listening to a podcast that gets you thinking can make your brain light up. And when your brain is engaged, you feel more capable, like you can handle what life throws at you. And on the days when you don't feel sharp, because we all have those days, be gentle with yourself. Don't fall into the trap of thinking, well, that's just age. No, it's not. Everyone forgets things sometimes. Everyone has foggy moments. The trick is to notice them, not fear them, and to keep using your brain in ways that bring you joy, not stress. Because independence isn't about never needing help. It's about trusting yourself to find solutions, even when things get tricky. And speaking of trust, let's touch on something people don't talk about nearly enough: emotional independence. Because it's not just about being physically capable. It's about how you feel inside your own skin. You can have all the routines, grab bars, and brain games in the world, but if you don't feel emotionally steady, life still feels off balance. Emotional independence means you're not constantly waiting for someone else to tell you you're okay. It means you have your own sense of peace, your own way of calming your mind, your own way of filling up your cup, so that when other people come along, it's a bonus, not a crutch. And it doesn't mean isolating yourself. It means knowing yourself. Having a way to soothe your own nerves on a bad day. Having something that lifts your spirits. A walk, a prayer, music, a creative hobby, even just sitting on the porch with a cup of tea and your thoughts. When you have that emotional resilience, you bounce back faster from disappointments. You speak up for what you need. You stop saying yes when you mean no. And little by little, you stop feeling helpless, because your inner self knows you can handle things, come what may. And here's a beautiful thing. When you start feeling more in control inside, people around you begin to notice. You move with more calm. You speak with more assurance. You don't second-guess yourself as much. And people respond to that energy. They treat you with more respect. They start assuming you can rather than assuming you can't. And that reinforces your independence even more. It becomes a beautiful loop. Your routine builds confidence. Your brain stays sharp. Your emotional core steadies you. And all of a sudden, you're not the one waiting for help. You're the one showing others how it's done. And let me tell you something, you deserve that. After everything you've navigated in life, from heartbreaks to celebrations, from raising others to reinventing yourself, you've earned the right to feel capable. You've earned the right to feel strong in your own skin and to feel in charge of your own days. So if you've been doubting yourself, I want you to take a deep breath and remember, you're not powerless. Not even close. Your independence isn't gone. It's just been waiting for you to claim it again, one simple choice at a time. You know, one of the most liberating things that happens when you start to feel more independent, physically, mentally, emotionally, is that your world opens back up. You stop holding your breath through every little task, and you start living again. Not just existing, living. And that brings us to something that might surprise you, transportation. It may not sound glamorous, but it plays a huge role in how independent you feel. If you've given up driving recently, or you're thinking about it, you might be feeling a little trapped. Like your freedom's been clipped. Suddenly, you have to ask for rides, plan around other people's schedules, or miss out on things entirely. It's frustrating. It can even feel embarrassing. But here's the truth. Losing the car keys doesn't mean losing your freedom. It just means finding a new way to move. There are so many options today, more than ever before. Senior transportation services, ride shares like Uber or Lyft, community buses, volunteer driver programs, or even learning how to confidently navigate public transport again if it's available in your area. Yes, it might take a little effort to figure it out at first. But think of what you gain in return: control. You decide when to go to the store. You choose to visit a friend across town. You get out of the house on your terms. And each time you do, you prove to yourself that your world is still wide, still full of places to go and people to see. If you're hesitant to try something like Uber or Lyft, ask a friend or grandchild to show you the ropes. Practice together. Learn at your own pace. You don't have to be a tech genius, just willing to learn something new, one tap at a time. That first ride, that first solo outing after a long time, it feels like breathing fresh air. You remember how good it feels to just go when you want to go. And while we're on the topic of freedom, let's not forget one more key piece: advocating for yourself. This is where real independence shines. It's not always about what you can physically do. It's about knowing your needs, your boundaries, your preferences, and feeling strong enough to speak up about them. So many people reach a certain age and start shrinking their voice. Doctors talk at them. Family members make decisions for them. Caregivers assume rather than ask. And before long, you start wondering, do I even get a say anymore? Let me say this loud and clear. Yes, you do. This is still your life. Your choices. Your values. Whether it's about your daily routine, your healthcare, or just what time you want to eat dinner, you have every right to be heard. Start with small moments. If your doctor rushes you, stop and ask for clarification. If your family suggests something that doesn't sit right with you, speak honestly. If someone treats you like you can't think for yourself, remind them, kindly but firmly, that you can. You don't need to shout to advocate. You just need to trust your own voice. That quiet confidence, the one that says, I know myself, is more powerful than any speech. And when you start advocating for yourself, something shifts. You begin making decisions with others, not having them made for you. You feel more involved, more seen, more respected. And that, right there, is independence. Now, maybe all of this sounds good in theory, but you're still thinking, where do I even begin? I've spent years feeling like I'm slowing down. Can I really turn this around now? Yes, you can. Because independence isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. It's choosing to move even when it's hard. It's adjusting your home, your habits, your mindset bit by bit. It's learning how to say, no thank you, I've got it, or, actually, I'd love your help with that. And if you stumble along the way, that's okay. That's part of it. Every strong person has days when they feel unsure. But you keep showing up. You keep moving forward. You keep reminding yourself that this chapter of life doesn't have to be smaller. It can be just as full, just as meaningful as any other time in your life. You've got the tools. You've got the courage. And more than anything, you've got time, right now, to start making these shifts. So let me leave you with this. Every little step you take toward independence, whether it's making your own schedule, setting up safer surroundings, learning a new skill, or simply speaking your truth, is a gift to yourself. A declaration that says, I'm still in charge of my life. And you are. You always have been. If this video encouraged you, even just a little, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What step are you going to take today? What's worked for you? Let's make this a space where we lift each other up and remind each other that we're still growing, still learning, still strong. If you haven't already, go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe for more heart-to-heart, practical content just like this. We're building a real community here, and you belong in it. Here's to strengthen your steps, calm in your mind, and power in your choices. Here's to you, living independently, joyfully, and boldly at any age. Take care, and I'll see you next time.